bookish friends, I hope you're well. Welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new. It's wrap up time and I haven't done a wrap up in a while. I think I completely missed May and June, so I just didn't do a wrap up for those. Obviously I read a lot of books, but I am here to do my July wrap up, and I had quite a good month, so let's just get right into them. I managed to read a total of 17 books for the month. Quick maths, yeah. Like I've got a little guest here again. I didn't, have to stand there off camera counting it on my fingers. 17 books in total. So that is actually, I think that's my second best reading month of the year. I think February is still in the lead with 18 books, so not too bad actually. And I've had a really good mixture this month. So breaking it down into categories, I read a total of 9 physical books, I listened to 5 audiobooks, and I read 3 ebooks on my phone. So I'm going to start with the ebooks first, and I'll pop them up here. So the first ebook that I read for the month, and this is not in any order, by the way, this is not the actual order I read them in, but the first one that I read was Happy Place by Emily Henry. This was my very first Emily Henry book, and she's a phenomenal writer. I understand why all you girlies out there absolutely love her, and I cannot wait to get through the rest of her books now. I gave this one 5 stars. It was a little bit slow to begin with. It took me a while to kind of warm up to the characters, if you like, but I did really enjoy it, and yeah, I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. The next ebook that I read was Ask for Andrea by Noelle W. Illy, I think that's how you say her name. I don't know, I could be butchering it, I'm very sorry. I'd heard a few people speak about this one. The concept really intrigued me. We are following 3 girls that have all, obviously you need to check trigger warnings, by the way, if this is not your type of thing. We are following 3 girls that have all been murdered by the same man. And it's their journey in sort of the afterlife, and the aftermath of kind of what's happened to them. It was really interesting. Not something I've never read anything like that before, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The writing was easy to follow, and the plot was good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. And the final ebook that I read was The Sweet Shop of Second Chances by Hannah M. Lynn. And this was okay. It didn't blow me away. I thought it was very kind of wholesome. It's typical starting over. I loved the sweet element of it. All old school British sweets, the fact that she was trying to kind of, we follow our main character, I cannot remember her name, but we follow her and she takes over this sweet shop. She's going to try and buy it, and to try and keep it running, keep it open in the little Cotswold village that she grew up in, and everything that you can think of goes wrong. Enjoyed it. It was okay, so I gave it 3 stars. Now the audiobooks that I managed to get to in the month of July, as I said, I got through 5 of them. All of them were a good time. I made some progress in the Rivers of London series by Ben Aronovich. Now, it's a 9-book series, and every single one of them I have listened to the audio, and Colbner Holbrook Smith is the narrator. He is phenomenal. He's fantastic. I would highly recommend, if you are from the UK and you have a library card, get the BorrowBox app. They are all on there and they are such a good time. So I read number 6, which was called The Hanging Tree. I'll put that there. Really enjoyed this one. Obviously I can't really tell you what these are all about because it's, you know, we're following the series. This is number 6 in the series. But we do follow Peter Grant. He is a police officer in London who is also training as a wizard. And there's lots of different magical elements and lots of different characters, and I just really enjoy the plot of these books. I have such a good time, and Coldner Holbrook Smith brings these characters to life, and it's so much fun. So I gave this one 4 stars. I then also read number 7, which is called Lies Sleeping, and I gave that one a 4.5 stars. And the last one I read was number 8, False Value, which was actually set around where I live, so that was really an interesting element to the book. And I gave that one a 4 stars. So I only have 1 book left in this series, which I'm obviously going to try and get to in the month of August, and then that will be the series done for me. I haven't given a single book in the series 5 stars. Every single one has been 4 stars or a 4.5, but it's still a fantastic series, and I would highly recommend. And the other 2 audiobooks that I got to, so I managed to finish off the Frankie Elkin series so far. So there are only currently 3 books. I just finished the 3rd one, which was called Still See You Everywhere. And these books just get better and better, and I really enjoy Lisa Gardner's writing style. I enjoy the plot lines, and I just love the characters. I love Frankie. Obviously, again, this is the 3rd one in the series, so I can't really say too much what it's about. But I would give this a go. I've listened to all 3 on audio, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. And then the last one was a new author to me. She's been around for a very long time, Nora Roberts. Maybe you've read her, maybe you haven't. This was my first experience of her, and I listened to this story. It's called Inheritance, and I didn't realise it's book 1 in a trilogy, and it's the only book out. So now I've got to wait for the next one and then the 3rd, so I'm a bit annoyed at myself for not checking that. But I really enjoyed this. This is it kind of gives off, it's very like haunted house vibes, but the characters make it a bit more fun, especially with the audiobook that I listened to, and I'm intrigued to see where this one continues. I gave this one 4.25 stars. So now I'm going to go through the physical books that I read for the month of July, which I'm really pleased with. So the first one from My Little Helper, thank you, is Val McDermid, The Distant Echo. You would have already seen this as part of my episode 1 of TBR Graveyard, so I'm not going to go into detail about this one. I enjoyed it. The pacing was a little bit off, 4 stars. The next one, slacking on the job there. My Summer of Magic Moments by Caroline Roberts. Again, that was part of the same TBR Graveyard vlog. This one was enjoyable. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I read, this was the first Emily Henry book that I actually read. I read this before I read Happy Place. This is Book Lovers, and again I gave this 5 stars and I absolutely loved it. Nora and Charlie are just phenomenal and I love them, and I actually preferred this to Happy Place, but only slightly. So another Emily Henry done, 5 stars. Then I read Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, and this is part of the Vancouver Storm series. I think the new one is coming out. I don't know if it's end of this year or beginning of next year. Again, Stephanie Archer, new author to me. I heard so many good things about these books, this one and The Fake Out, and I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna do it. I had a great time. I loved the characters. The writing is easy to follow. 4.5 stars. Wasn't quite a 5-star, didn't give me that feeling, but 4.5. Really enjoyed it. The next 3 books, I can't actually tell you what I rated them because they are coming as part of a vlog that I'm literally just finishing up, and that's going to be uploaded after this. So yeah, I can't tell you what I rated them, but I will just show you them quickly. We've got NYPD Red 6. We've got #Taken by Tony Parsons. And we have Killer Instinct by James Patterson and Howard Rogan. I didn't mention NYPD Red 6 is by James Patterson and Marshall Cupp. And then the last 2 physical books that I did for the month, I decided this was on my summer TBR. And it's The Summer I Robbed a Bank by David O'Doherty. It is obviously a middle grade. I had such a good time with this and it made me sob. It was good. It was comical. It was heartwarming and I just love it. And I'm very glad I read it and I gave it 4 stars. And then the final book that I finished for the month of July, and this was also on my summer TBR, was First Love by James Patterson and Emily Raymond. This was one of the romances that I had left on my physical TBR, but it's been on my physical TBR for years and I just don't know why I never picked it up. But this one we follow Axie and Robinson. They are 2 teenagers and they go on a road trip together. They run away, go on a road trip across America, and there's just lots of chaos, and it's just the story of how they fall in love. And this was absolutely heart-wrenching and I absolutely bawled my eyes out like a baby. And I had to give it 5 stars. It was phenomenal. So if you want to have your heart torn out in the best way possible, I recommend this book. So yeah, that's everything that I managed to get to in July. So I'm really pleased with that. Let me know what your best books of July were. How many did you manage to get through? And let me know what you're going to be prioritising for the month ahead. That's it from me, and I will this one, and I will see you in whatever comes next.